Hi, my name's Lindy Cowling. Welcome to my channel. My website is www.lindycowling.co.uk, email info@lindycowling.co.uk. And this very short video this evening is entitled Soul Connections Defined. Soul connections, new forms of relationships defined, something like that. I work so spontaneously that I don't usually plan the title of the video before I come on here, as you can tell. So that's often why I have an idea and then it changes between now and the time I upload it. So starting from the top, this is just a brief explanation of the different kinds of soul connections or spirit essence connections, conscious or unconscious connections you can have. My definition of them in terms of how I read the energetic components of them. So these aren't just my ideas based on a theory. This is based on how I read the energetics of the connection. So starting from, let's start from, I'm going to say start from the top and start from matching aspects of consciousness. So I'm going to call these the top category, not because they're better than other connections. I'm talking in the quality of vibration, frequency, the status of harmonization and balance. So top category, shall we say, conscious connections. This is where individuals have either worked their way through a lifetime to become fully conscious, or they haven't done any of that, and they've activated automatically in a conscious state of awareness, not just a temporary conscious state of awareness, I mean a permanent state of consciousness which continues to expand. What I mean by that is they're not triggered by belief systems, projections, or anything else by the other or anybody else, really. Doesn't mean to say they don't have any emotions or anything like that. It just means that they are running their emotions and their energetics through their heart portal or heart space. They still have personality, they still have emotions, but they are not being run by belief systems or programming in any way, shape or form. So they are the authentic, conscious 0 point them, a unified human being, literally being. So top category that falls in that top category is conscious relationships. My definition, as I've just described, would be like one oak tree with infinite matching leaves on that oak tree. So you can meet an identical matching aspect of leaf or consciousness from that same oak tree. Or because an oak tree never has just 2 leaves on it, infinite possibilities of matching leaves on that oak tree, infinite aspects of consciousness, infinite possibilities of conscious connection. Whether that be matching consciousness that's on a lower vibratory level of frequency implicated with the soul would be a twin flame, or nothing to do with twin flame union and just a matching identical consciousness. It doesn't make any difference to the height or the quality of that vibrational frequency. So conscious relationships, conscious connections, conscious relationship paradigm, connecting consciously, 0 point field, authentic, coming through the heart, no longer triggered by humanity as a whole or the society programming or belief systems, etc., etc. So conscious connections. Matching conscious connections, where you literally cannot put a pin between the consciousness of the two, do not have to be twin flames, but also it doesn't rule out that they're twin flames that haven't come down low enough in their vibration. Sorry, I'm gulping at the same time. Low enough in their vibration to need to perform through the soul aspect, or their let's say mission format wasn't to perform through the soul aspect. You can have matching identical leaves on the tree and consciousness that are nothing to do with twin flame union or the same soul. They are matching identical consciousness. I hope you get what I mean. So then we come down to my definition and my word of ascensionary soulmates. So I'm working from the top and going down backward. So it doesn't mean these are lower. It means they're all horses out the same stable, just slightly different purposes, slightly different. Ascensionary soulmates, two different souls. Could be from the same family, might be from different soul families that have been round the block before, probably, but not necessarily. Some soulmates meet just in this life, but others might have been in other timelines or other lives as well. I call them ascensionary soulmates because they've got to a point in their individual and compatible, the two of them, evolution, where they no longer are triggered horrendously in the same way, and their belief systems are changing. Basically, they're becoming fully conscious. So they are soulmates that have matured to a level that they go in the category, in my view, or my reading of their energy, as ascensionary soulmates, which means they're evolved enough now to be soulmates that are becoming fully conscious. Then going across these categories, I'm not going to say going down to catalysts, because catalysts can be soul catalyst or spirit essence catalyst. Essence catalysts can come right across the board, all soul connections or non-soul connections, all to do with consciousness, all to do with awakening. They can be aspects that trigger the darkness within you, the darkness within them, the light within you, the light within them, the love within you, the love within them. They can be real life changes, bump you out of marriages, bump you out of life situations, turn you upside down, inside out, or it could be less dramatic than that, but as the word implies, catalysts. They come in all categories, whether it's soul categories, essence categories, spirit essence categories, awakening. It's all about awakening, acceleration, expansion, and all of these things. So they come across the board. So they're not the next step down. They come in any of these categories. And then moving to, let's move to, doesn't really matter what order I do this in because they're both to do with the soul. So let's go for twin flame union. Twin flame union, service orientated, template, blueprint, all about two aspects, usually two aspects in human body in the same timeline at the same time, but not always. It's more unusual to meet more than one aspect in the soul form of twin flame union in the same timeline at the same time, but it is not impossible. And or you may be aware of another one that lives just in another town or a different part of the country or a different part of the world. This is a highly polarized form of connection because you are more than one form of the soul aspect of you in a human body at the same time. It is polarized because of the soul aspect of it. Soul energy is very, very polarized energy, especially highly polarized if you get it in the form of same aspects of same soul in human beings. Huge triggering, huge trauma and drama often ensues, almost always actually. There are a few exceptions to that, but not many. It is learning and expansion, but the whole point of it really is that combined frequency of being part of that blueprint or template, of providing that act of service so that consciousness rises and is achieved in the human population, in humanity as a whole, because of templates like twin flame union. Not the only one, but any templates and blueprints that are there for the rising of consciousness and the acceleration of consciousness and the acceleration and expansion of the heart, of love, of awareness, of evolution, all of those things intertwined. They are there in a polarized form, and why most of them find it very difficult to be around each other for very long or in a conventional way is because they are highly unconventional, being aspects of same soul. And yes, it can be done that you can be around each other or even live with one another or even marry. It's highly unusual, in all honesty. And usually it is much less conventional than that, so that you are on the perimeters of one another's life, often out of communication, or if you are balancing it, then the way it is channeled through you, that one soul consciousness energy, is for the service of others. The whole priority of the soul is to be as that frequency for that template or blueprint, so that consciousness as a whole imprints on that blueprint. In other words, you're providing a service for other people to become fully conscious. Twin flame unions start as totally, well, sometimes they start as unconscious, then they see each other, or there's a certain tone of voice or a look, or etc., etc. They become fully conscious, remain conscious like that for a while. It could be days, weeks, hours, months, and then go unconscious again, which is when the trauma and drama begins, because they literally develop divine amnesia overnight, one or both of them, and then spend a number of years working their way back to becoming fully conscious again. And not always do both do it. In fact, often both parties don't do it and get sidetracked along the way, which is very sad. But it happens. So twin flame union, highly polarized form of same soul aspect, service orientated, highly unconventional because they're a template, a blueprint, and more unusual to have in the form of more than one aspect of same soul, but it does happen and can happen. As you know, this is an experiential humanitarian channel which I only share from my own personal and professional experience, and I know of, at the moment so far, in the polarized form aspect of me, two aspects coming from same soul, one that I've met and been involved with, a male form, and another that I haven't met and not been involved with in India in a female form. So then if we go now to the category of the old form of soulmates, the next category, old form of soulmates are soulmates with karma, drama, old energy on it, old baggage on it, unhealed projection on it, personality characteristics are unhealed, unhealed core soul wounds. I mean, obviously you can have unhealed, loads of unhealed stuff with twin flame union as well, which obviously they are clearing for the collective, stuff like that, and the family, stuff like that, and their soul group or soul groups, stuff like that. So they've got blood family, soul family, and for themselves they're clearing as part of that template, redefining, basically making the unconscious conscious. Old school soulmates, I nickname them old school soulmates. They are not there for the purpose of clearing for the collective. They are there for the unhealed stuff within themselves. It's not always trauma and drama. It can be. It can be the Romeo and Juliet scenario, but equally soulmates can meet and have just click, and that be wonderful. And because they're relationship orientated, they're great friends, or they're inseparable, great work colleagues, great lovers, great husband and wife, great partners. So it doesn't have to be like that. It doesn't have to be trauma and karma and all the rest of it, and trauma, but it can, just as often as it can be absolutely beautiful and harmonized. Oh, it is getting dark in here. I've just noticed how dark it's getting while I'm talking. Look at that. So just to summarize before I'm sitting here in the pitch dark, so I've gone down the categories here: conscious connections, matching aspects of consciousness, catalysts, ascensionary soulmates. Catalysts come across in all of the categories. Twin flame union, polarized form of same soul, old form of soulmates, and of course where it's more like clearing the old energy between the two of them, and they can live quite harmoniously or not, be the other extreme or somewhere in between. And of course, did I say ascensionary soulmates, which are soulmates that have evolved to the point where they are becoming conscious, and that's my name for them. Just before I sign off from this one, I was defining that just something that connected with the soul as well that I will throw in. I did hear it mentioned on a couple of videos recently from people that they said that, oh, they can, when you are in connection with someone or you come down from essence form, like spiritual essence, or the same thing, I call it an essence of mist as well, and come down into the human vehicle of the soul, that actually through the experiences of your life, your soul actually can't be damaged. And they said your soul can't be damaged, and I totally disagree with that. I used to come from that camp of thought until I had been through the processes of that and worked specifically with the soul over a number of years. And yes, soul damage can occur, and most definitely does occur. What I have never seen occur, and totally in my heart of hearts believe cannot occur, is the actual essence of you, the mist of you, the spirit of you, the source of you, the purity of you, the love of you that comes down into the vehicle of the soul of you. So in that sense, that part of you, the essence, the true you, is untouchable by anything and everything. I don't mean in a barrier, castle, drawbridge kind of way. I mean from harm or anything like that. The purity, the essence, the truth of who you are, that essence, that mist, is in that sense untouchable in that purity. But soul damage most certainly can occur, does occur, and does happen actually for a number of reasons. Anyway, I'm going to keep it short because I've noticed I'm sitting here, look, in shadow here in the dark, and in a minute you'll just see a pair of lips with lipstick on, and that's all you're going to see. So on that note, I'll love you and leave you. Thanks for watching as always. Thanks for subscribing to the channel, supporting the channel in any way that you can. And I thought I'd bring this out today because I'm not quite sure that I've brought one out as I'm expanding and into the work I'm doing as well. My categories, the categories are widening. And I thought I'd bring that out so that you can see clearly how I define connections. And I do this not through kind of a concept or a theory. It's directly through reading energy. That's how I'm doing it. And that's how I'm defining it. So I thought you might find it interesting from your points of view when you are having experiences with people, because many people I work with, they say, oh, thank goodness, because I felt so-and-so aspects of something were right, but there was something missing. And then I define it for them and they say, oh yeah, that's what it was. I've got it now, because I felt that, I felt I wasn't quite sure if I was a twin flame. I wasn't quite sure if I was a soulmate. I wasn't quite sure of this, and I knew something was off. And then they're saying now it all makes sense, and that's exactly, they resonate. Basically, they resonate with it, So, on that note, I'll love you and leave you because I'm going to be sitting here in the dark. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you again shortly. Bye.